Well, my name is Colin Webster. I'm originally from South Florida. I went to undergrad at Yale University, majored in economics, and so, of course, ended up in consulting. I did nonprofit strategy consulting out in the Bay Area, partially in San Francisco, partially in Oakland, and had a great time out there. I think really got to live into this core value that my family set around giving back and being selfless. And really got to learn more about the education system in particular and racial equity and how all of those things combine to just better support underserved communities. But a thing that I felt since day one there was just a disconnect from my role and the people I was trying to serve. I think the organization I worked for, you have to go through a client who has another client who then is helping the person you serve. And I think that can feel not as fulfilling at the end of the day. And so I would do a bunch of volunteer work on the side. One of them was with this organization called Mind Right, where I provided mental health support to Black and Latinx youth that were just going through hard times. And I thought actually having a relationship with the people I was trying to serve gave me more meaning and was a lot more motivating just on the day-to-day purpose. And I think being able to play in this healing and health role I thought was quite exciting, just given how important health is to living a fulfilling life. And so I wanted to explore that more. And then Bryn Mawr's postbac program came up on the docket, and I thought, why not? Let's give it a shot. And here we are now. One of my mentors mentioned Bryn Mawr as one of the prestigious, high excellence postbac programs that there were out there. And so I did some research and saw that. I think just the numbers of the percent that go on to medical school and those that are successful really speak to how high quality a program and organization this is. And so obviously I wanted to be a part of that to also just support my own trajectory and build more excellence in this basic science classes. And so that was the core reason. I think a second really important reason for me, especially since I'm 29, was that it was a one-year program. And so I would be able to move into medical school and get into the next career a little quicker relative to some other programs out there that can be 2 years. Not only because of the timeline, but also just the opportunity cost of, not making money. I think you definitely can feel that. And so wanting to move along this as quick as possible was important. And then third, I had been living in Philadelphia for 9 months prior to coming to Bryn Mawr and really fell in love with the city. I love how walkable it is. And it is also a very Black city. And so coming from Oakland, that was really important to me to see a bunch of Black people around and play a role in just supporting more of those communities. And so I thought being in Bryn Mawr, I would have more proximity to be able to go into the city and just help out healthcare systems here. And so all three of those things were important to me. Comparing my undergraduate experience to the Bryn Mawr postbac program is interesting because it was a few years back. And so what I remember, I think, is maybe a little cloudier relative to my other peers here. But I think two things stand out. One is this return to a social dynamic where you spend so much time with your friends and you live next to your friends. I think moving into the adult world, one of the big feelings of loss is that you can live so far away from your coworkers and your peers. And so the return to that campus feel where you can hit up a friend and be over there in 5 minutes and it's either to study or to play a game. I think there's just this deeper sense of connection that you get in a college environment that I really felt was missing. And so to re-find that, and it wasn't even something necessarily on my radar. So it was a very serendipitous discovery. And I thought that was really incredible and necessary, I think, to get through such a challenging program. So that was something that I forgot and I really cherished about my undergrad that I saw here. I think the biggest difference I saw between my undergrad experience and this program is that I just have a much better, value or prioritization around work that here than I did before. And so I spent, I think, just much more time actually trying to learn the courses here, and dedicating my time and energy to like growing my mastery of the subjects. And so I feel like, I don't know, I feel like I'm a more serious person. And so I feel like I was able to, I think, take more care and time with my work here. And I think I felt just a lot better about the input I was putting in, and then the output I was getting back, just in terms of grades and other things around here. And so definitely in undergrad, I feel like I had a lot broader set of priorities. As you know, an 18-year-old, you're like the first time out of school, blah, blah, blah. And so I thought I could just really drill down into what was important here, which I really liked. And then the other thing, which is like speaking to more of like the professors here relative to my undergrad experience, I think professors at Bryn Mawr are like so much more accessible, and really there to meet with you in this one-on-one basis that you don't really see as much in many institutions. And I think Bryn Mawr's smaller nature really incentivizes that. But there are so many emails I would send like late at night on like a specific question in the homework that was like, I have no idea why this is the right answer. And they would get back to you within like 10 to 30 minutes, which is an incredible turnaround time, especially because they've been teaching all day. And so the fact that they're like also online at night and willing to help you really helps, I think, ease a lot of anxiety that you can feel because this is a one-year program, because it's so quick and because it's so high volume. Knowing that you can get an answer to a question when you have a quiz the next day right beforehand, I think is immeasurable. And so that was one thing I think I feel gratitude for, is just how not only like good of lecturers the professors were, but just how good of like humans they were in helping us like reach all of our educational potentials.